Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Mindcast session today. And please gear up for this great session we have today with the legendary Bharatbala Ganapathy. And please write in the chat where you are joining from so that we know right in your, we can see your name, just write where you're joining from. And we so far have around 26 people already. Hello, Ashima, how are you? Chandra Modi has joined. Catherine, hi Catherine, what's up? Hey. Bangalore. Hi, Vipin sir. How are you doing? Okay. Nisha from Rajpur.
Raipur.
Okay. Sorry. It's from
Abhishek from Varanasi.
Varanasi,
And somebody from Canberra, Australia.
Canberra, Australia.
Pile from
Fine.
Canberra.
All right. So, wherever you're joining from, let's gear up. Everyone, let's get ready for this Mindcast session. It's a place where we crack open the science of creative success with visionary leaders and deep dive straight into the minds of people who actually move culture forward. Today, we are not just welcoming a filmmaker, we are welcoming someone who shaped the way an entire nation sees itself on screen. Bharatbala sir isn't just a director, he's the mind behind the images that live in our collective memory. From Vande Mataram to Janaganamana, from Incredible India to School Chale Hum. Most of us grew up on his work without even knowing it. And now he is building Virtual Bharat, a thousand film love letter to India, its people, its stories, its heartbeat. It's honestly an honor to have someone of his scale, vision, and pure storytelling fire with us today. Everyone, please give a huge welcome to legendary Bharat Bala sir with your reactions and chats. And I must also welcome the one who is hosting this session today, who literally builds imagination ecosystems, Sonia Manchanda, co-founder of Spread, board member of World Design Organization, and the force behind Design Barn, Design Open, and Design Farm, spaces that shape creators, leaders, and ideas with real impact. By the way, today's session is also about the Mind Crafters course in creative leadership and entrepreneurship, where you master design strategy, design research, design thinking, and the art of telling stories that actually land. We give you the minds and the feels, and Bharat Bala sir gives you the craft, the precision, and the fire of world class execution. So let's go for it. Over to Sonia.
Hi Bala, hi everyone, hi Samrat. We are joining you from the Design Barn in Bangalore, and we're curious to know, Bala, where are you joining us from?
Well, I just in Goa attending the International Film Festival of India, which is called IFI, and so I've been coming here for many years. So this year I'm the chairman of the jury for OTT
Wow.
films.
Hmm.
And so I just last 3 days of meeting filmmakers and seeing some little bit of work. Didn't get an opportunity to see many films, but it's kind of a ritual, a tradition, and it's nice to be in Goa.
Fabulous. I'm envious, very envious of you at this moment. Let me ask you, okay, for the benefit of the audience, and I'm just going to represent all of us here. I want to know and get into your head right here and now.
Sonia,
What is it that
Sonia, hold on.
hmm.
We've known each other. I don't even need to answer anything. You know me better than me. You know.
You don't have to tell everyone that.
Okay.
No, I do know you, and I've always been inspired by you. And um, I think I quit my job and I started on my journey because of you. So all the hard work I put in, I kind of owe it to you. You're responsible. But,
Don't
but
blame me.
yeah, I'm completely blaming you. But I'm just curious. That was then, and this is now. at this moment, our journeys shape us as much as we shape our journeys. At this very moment, what is it that, keeps you up at night? I know, like, for instance, I go for yoga every morning, and then I try to keep my attention on the mat, but there's always something that is bothering me that I take with me everywhere I go. Something that's a bugbear, something that's a dream, something that's a challenge, something that I want to develop. So I'm curious, and I think it's for all creators, it's like that. I'm sure everybody here at this moment has something in their mind that they really want to do, and you don't know why it's coming to you, but you still need to do it. You know. So my question to you is, what is that something right now in your life?
Right now, I'm completing my feature film, which I began early this year in January at the Mahakumbh Mela, where we filmed for about 40 days in Prayagraj. And so it's a very compelling story. And that music, it's kind of a musical based on Hindustani music and a story about a relationship between a musical maestro and a music prodigy daughter. It's about father-daughter relationship, and the music is done by Rahman. So, well, he works in the night, so it keeps me awake anyway. So we are just finishing the background score of the film. Uh, I think everything else is complete. Editing is done and all of that. But more than that, I would say a few years back, I set out to do this idea. Again, ये हिंदी में कहते हैं कीड़ा है.
Mm.
That Kida never goes. Okay. So this new Kida is uncovering untold stories of India. ऐसे ही बता दिया. Now, but what is that? How do you give a shape to it? What do you mean by it? And how does a shape form? How do you make it into a cinematic experience? So we decided we'll do 1,000 films on India. So I said I'll keep myself busy for my rest of my life. So now, strangely, we have built, we are like at it, like, whipping it's like you're on a horse race, just like galloping with it. So we have made 110 films already. So we have about 890 to go. So 890? No, 900 and maybe whatever. My math is, yeah, it
Wow.
should be correct. Yeah, 890. So films to do. And that involves uh, finding stories, putting them into a shape, and then and they are set in across India, from Tripura to Arunachal to Maharashtra to Orissa to Kanyakumari to Kashmir to Ran of Kutch, whatever. And all of these films are in their original languages.
Mm.
So anyway, to cut short and tell you this thing is what's consuming me now is completion of that feature film, and then this ocean of ideas that I need to keep swimming in this 890 films to do.
Mm. I've, of course, seen quite a few of them, and they're all very beautiful. I'm going to ask you again a numbers question based on what you said. How many young people or emerging talent have had the opportunity to work on those projects with you?
I think we have at least around 60 people
Mm.
already.
Mm.
And these are we have young creators from Mumbai, Assam, Pune, Goa, Trivandrum, Banaras, so Calcutta, Kashmir, Tamil Nadu.
Mm.
So all of these are young filmmakers. When I say filmmakers, they are researchers, writers, directors, cinematographers, editors, live sound recordists, then music composers, sound engineers, sound designers, and colorists. So, and photographers. So we're working with a bunch of young talent, and it's not necessary that, for example, if you pick up a filmmaker from Kerala. It's not that we give him the film and he goes and does it. I Our challenge is to put people out of their comfort zone,
Mm.
pick up a young filmmaker or a director from Kerala, give him a cinematographer from somewhere else, a editor then comes from somewhere else, the music composer is from somewhere else. So it's kind of a very, I would call it, we are like a lab, we are a creative collective lab where it's an ongoing experiment, but an experiment that has to succeed. Can't be an experiment and left and right. They have to be delivered. So yeah,
So it's not one ghoda, it's a whole forge.
yeah, it has to be. It has to be the first. See, I just look back on what triggered this idea.
Mm.
Now, growing up, for me, my best idea of seeing the world was National Geographic publications.
Correct.
And then my father had bought me 12 volumes of Book of Knowledge. Those, they had a beautiful shelf and these 12 leather bound books. They were like my Google. Okay. So I understood uh, the geography of the world, cultures, from whatever that was present. Then I looked back and saw how did this National Geographic take shape? It took a few philanthropists in America to say, hey, we will put some of the best writers and photographers to go and discover this world, capture it into a beautiful publication that the world can get constantly inspired. And I said, hey, have you done it on India? So today, being a part of this creative community, filmmaker, whatever, we have the opportunity. So I said, let me go and catalog this India. So that's why the stories of Virtual Bharat.
So when people look at what you're doing, and I'm going to ask everyone to put your questions in the Q&A box, because as we unpack this, then we will hand it over to you and ask you, and take up your questions. Um, uh, when people look at someone like you and they see the body of work that you're doing and have done, I'm sure they feel a little bit like, oh my God, you're living this dream life. Okay. This is what every filmmaker would want to do. But, you know, you're chasing a certain dream, like you said, Akira. You know, you've got to play with it. It needs to consume you. Um, and I think what I've seen about you uniquely is that you're the entrepreneur. You're the director, you're the producer, you're the guy who's driving everything, and that's not easy, right? So, I mean, it looks like, I mean, it is the dream life, but actually it is also a very lonely and a very tough journey, you know? So what makes you do that? What makes you unique? How do you go about doing something like that? Not everyone does that. Not everybody will madly chase an idea like that, and you've always done it. And you've always come out on top of that. So how do you choose that? How does Kira become Krida? How do you start playing with that idea? Take it forward, find the partners. How do you do it so uniquely?
Um, well, I don't know, but I think my
But simply,
very
what makes
first,
you so uniquely successful and differently
yeah,
successful from others?
I think, everybody has, passion. You can't say I'm passionate and the other person is not passionate. That's not correct. Um, I think first and foremost, um, see, I studied zoology. I wanted to do medicine. वो सीट नहीं मिला. Um, my father was for me, it was like one of the greatest photographers, but unsung hero. Nobody knows about him, right? But he was like a tutor for Raghurai. Okay. So
Wow.
it's like a great mind, and every frame, natural light, he just sets up quietly. He will take a amazing picture. So I think somewhere I've been observing him and finding, for me. every time naturally is like, give me the most dirtiest subject or most boring subject, I'll make a very interesting frame. So
Beautiful.
now when I go back and saying, um, what made me different or anything is like even the very first uh, opportunity I got to make a TV commercial for MRF, I thought different. Like, for example, at that time, the best advertising filmmakers were in Bombay, the best cinematographers or music producers, everybody was like in Bombay. But I thought different. I said, listen, for me, the world is the landscape for opportunity, and I need to collaborate and get to work with the best minds so that I can quickly learn and also get my aesthetics up. Okay. So, my very first commercial I did with John Matheson, who went on to do Gladiator and Phantom of the Opera and all. So, this whole, Apple has that line, think different, that I've been living. Even today, any object, any subject I get, I have my mind thinks different. So I think that's a strength that I want to, hold on to, and yeah. So in that sense, about I talked about thinking different, collaboration, and finding. At that time, I never look at मेरा ये budget है, मैं ये कैसे करूँगा. ठीक है, at the end of the day, everything is made to a budget, but you got to at least reach out to your dreams and go beyond your dreams, and maybe there is somebody whom you think that you can never get will come in line because he believes in you, and that's been a way right through the last 3.5 decades. Any idea, it's always impossible to start with. If I just come and tell, okay, I'm going to make a documentary series, we're going to make an idea to celebrate Mahatma Gandhi, we're going to go and make an idea of saying uh, how relevant is ahimsa in today's world. Uh, so, once again, God, how relevant is ahimsa in today's world? So, how do you do it differently? Okay, let's go and meet uh, leaders who were violent at some point of time and decided non-violence is a way forward to serve their community and society. So, okay, who are they? Oh, Nelson Mandela, Gorbachev, Arafat, Shimon Peres. So, okay, done. We're going to go and find them. But we met all of them with one facts in, today you're talking about so many ways to connect. We had just a fax machine in a 400 square feet office. And most important is, it's not about me alone dreaming. It's your team has to dream along with you. They have to be, they can't just say and say, "Hey, you're stupid. You're thinking some bizarre ideas. ये नहीं होने वाला."
Mm. Agree.
नहीं. They are equally mad or more mad the moment I say, hey, we're going to go and meet Nelson Mandela. लग गए.
Mm.
लग गए. And then uh, uh, an interesting anecdote is हमने नेल्सन मंडेला को क्या खिलाया. So he invited, we went to film him, and then he invited us to come join him for breakfast. तो हम देसी लोग कुछ मीठा ले जाते हैं ना, and obviously we take our all namkeens when we go travel कुछ तो खाने के लिए. So we had uh, kaju katli with us. Okay, so today, Nelson Mandela is resting in peace, having tasted multiple kaju katlis. ये सब मजा, बड़ा मजा
Yeah,
आता है,
yeah. So these are, stories happen when you get out of your comfort zone, and I think
Yeah,
you're so full of
yeah.
stories. I think we can do
There is,
many,
it,
many such episodes with each with this story, because I've heard some of these stories directly from you, and I feel that only when we make an effort to get out and do something atke, will you get those stories. Did you find that, when you're working with the new generation now, when you are doing um, uh, all the new work that you're doing, the 60 young people you're working with, in Virtual Bharat, do you feel that they get this spirit? Do things come easy for them? Was our generation differently driven? It's a controversial question I'm asking you. And
No, no,
it's
I think
either ways, what is the kind of mindset you think one needs to have? Yes,
it's
think different, never settle, be a little bit mad, wo pagalpanti to chahiye. So what are those other, like, what are the mindsets, what are the challenges and opportunities that we must make an effort to surmount?
see, it is definitely a mixed bag, okay? Because there are lazy ones for sure, okay? But importantly, I feel younger than them.
Mm,
My energy levels are as good or even better than them. When we be are at a location, I'll make it so exciting that we're going to get it, man.
mm,
So I think the team is very energized and we stay as equals. I respect them for their ideas because I'm sure it's not me telling them what to do. I brought them to figure out what they're going to bring to the idea. So I always respect the young minds to say, hey, come on, man, I'm looking up to you. I
mm,
don't want them to look up to me. I will look up to them. So, and then I'll keep challenging them. And I'll tell you, many a times we have failed.
mm,
It doesn't matter.
mm,
Some films are bad, doesn't matter. But out of our 100 films, 10 could be bad, but 90 will excel. That's it. So
mm,
that's the experiment that you got to accept embrace some of these bad apples, no problem. But there are some gems to be found.
mm,
So, maza aa raha hai.
mm,
And then getting people from these, as I said, out of their comfort zone, no, is most exciting. Like I haven't worked with, let's say, I keep watching in Instagram. There are some amazing photographers coming from very remote parts of India. I like their work. So I follow them. Then I reach out to them. They can't even speak, they only speak their local language. But मैंने एक को ऐसे ही पकड़ा बंगाल से. मैंने कहा यार तू यू आर डूइंग सम अमेजिंग वर्क. यू आर लाइक अ काते ब्रसों ऑफ पुरुलिया. Okay, wherever you are. But
yeah.
I'm saying tu bara.
Mm,
So we took him out and we took him to Nagaland and say, okay, now you give me the frames. Let's see how exciting you can do. So I think that's very interesting for me to. I want to find 25 steam makeries in India.
mm,
I want to help them.
mm,
So then we can, because um, again, coming in advertising, you're always looking at some nice visuals and frames, etc. Right? So in those, and especially when I started doing Vande Matram and all, and for me, I was hungry to see the same India through a different lens. So I used to go to all five-star hotels, go and look at these coffee table books done by a French photographer, some British photographer, or a Japanese photographer, and I used to drool over them. And they inspired me and said, hey, go. Why did they get it? Because they walked the distance, they were there at the right location, at the right light, and they traveled. You can't sit in Mumbai and Delhi and say, हम कर लेंगे यार चेन्नई में से नहीं जाना पड़ेगा. So we started traveling. And then we have today the biggest and the best bank, and will continue to be the best repository of images of India, emotions of India.
So what I'm hearing from you, and I also feel that working a lot with the next generation, that they've got very special minds because their exposure levels online are so high. But yet what you're saying is you need to get out there and do the work. you know to be the next Steve McCurry, it shows signs of being that, and then to reach to grow into a bala, to grow into a Bharatbala, where tomorrow you now have the confidence and the guts and the capacity to chase your own kind of projects and find your own kiras and chase them. Okay. So Anything else you want to tell them? You're saying step out, go out, do
First
the
of
work.
all, first of all, be fearless.
Mm,
अभी मेरे को like like whether I have to find an artist. Okay, now I'll think of something and then say I need to work with this art. I may not know them,
mm,
but I'll find them.
mm,
So first of all, be fearless. Once you are super confident, super excited, just stick to that. Then you will put in your very best. Let it be the simplest idea. You need to only satisfy yourself that, man, I made something kick ass. Then, whenever somebody sees it, they'll feel it. They'll feel your love for what you have done. So, that's very important.
mm.
So, fearless is, you know, Abhi dekho, this year,
What if I'm not hungry only? I mean,
अरे
fearless,
यार वो तो
fearless is if you
problem.
want to do something. You have to want to do something. No, so I'm
But
worried if you're not. I'm
I,
like,
I
okay, I'm so talented. People should come to me. Why should I need to make an effort? I'm so talented in any case. What if?
what do you mean I'm so talented? Unless people see your talent, you're not talented.
Okay.
Yeah. Your
So
talent has
then,
to be seen by people, appreciated by people, recognized by people, is when you shape yourself.
so there needs to be
Don't,
pride. There
yeah,
needs to be
don't sit on a
pride.
high horse
Pride.
saying, मेरे को सब मातो पता है.
So a
कुछ नहीं
combination
पता.
of pride and humility. Maybe I need to balance that pride and
100%.
humility. Oh.
100%. मुझे कुछ नहीं पता.
Hmm.
You know, like say, I want to address this fearless thing
Hmm.
because this year in the beginning, last year end, in November, somebody told me, Bhala, yaar, in the next few months is Mahakumbh Mela. Bhala, you should go and make a feature film there.
Hmm.
That's it. Kida lag gaya.
Hmm.
In 1 month, we set up to say, okay, I pulled in a writer and said, let's start, came up with a story and developed it. Simultaneously, the script is not ready.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. I want to ask you, did you have a moment of self-doubt? If the
No.
when that self, because um, uh,
Where in this idea or when?
during this or during any one of these moments, how do you
No,
tackle that? Because you're so perfect in terms of being able to chase that idea and get it done. You know, but supposing I'm not like you, I mean, I how do I be more like you? I mean, how? What if I have self-doubt? What happens when you have self-doubt? How do you tackle that?
that's where you need the courage to overcome your self-doubt, believe in yourself.
Mm,
Doesn't matter even if you don't make it to your very best,
mm,
but complete the exercise.
mm,
Don't walk away.
mm,
Don't fail halfway. Fail after you complete it. No
mm,
problem. Then the next best idea you will fly.
mm.
तो सब चलता है. I made very bad films also. Don't worry.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to turn to what I'm going to see what everybody else wants to ask you. But before that, I want to ask you, say, um, two questions, and you can answer them in whatever order, or two sort of things to think about. One is the young creators who are going to be part of this creative leadership course that we are doing. We're really doing it so that they meet, so they learn to work in transdisciplinary teams, work with other people, and do something audacious together. Okay. So, one, and those audacious ideas or directions we are calling dares. Okay. So, do you have certain dares for them? One. And two, do you have a one line advice you want to give them? That they must keep sort of make a poster of it, put it up in their room, and always remember. Besides being fearless, besides thinking different, is there anything more that maybe we've missed out?
I think we missed out on something to say that I want to respect originality
Mm,
so that your voice gets recognized.
mm,
That's very important, especially in today, because if you look at Instagram, you don't know, every work looks the same.
mm,
So how do you find your voice, whether it's in music composition or whether it's lensing when you take a frame, or when you want to write a story, you have to have your voice because there are extraordinary influences coming. And
mm,
in short, messages or informations. There is too much
Mm,
in that. You still need to have your originality. That is critical.
So what's
If you
coming?
start young with original ideas, that confidence, everything gets built in simultaneously.
So what's coming to my mind from what you're saying, and as a takeaway for our guests, for our audience, is that um, there's a certain creative attitude, which is a mix of being able to think different or making the effort to think different, to be fearless and to have original ideas. And we need to have that certain creative attitude if you want to be in the creative space. It's one thing to go just be part of a machine, be part of a system, and fill in one of the roles, do one of the tasks. But if you want to be somebody who's a fearless, relentless creator, there's a certain attitude you need to have, and all of this is important. And only then will you be recognized, only then will you then be able to create your own path. Would that make sense?
Um, yeah, and also, uh, you know, how do you see art?
Mm,
See, art is not just seeing a painting or some mural or something like that. Especially in a country like India, there is phenomenal art,
mm,
especially with our diversity, with our architecture, temple architecture, whatever our culture, all these are different. Are everything there is art. If you can spot the art and engage the art and respect the art, some basic DNA of creativity gets developed.
mm.
You have to respect other art.
Yeah.
ये नहीं कि मैं ही आर्टिस्ट हूँ.
Need the
तुमको
eyes, the
आर्टिस्ट है
eyes.
ही
You
नहीं.
need the eyes, yeah.
You need the eyes, you need the patience, and you need the respect for the art.
Mm,
Look at some of the Raghurajpur in Orissa. Look at the artists and the paintings doing some phenomenal work. The entire village. Now, आप लोग बड़े बड़े आर्टिस्ट समझते हो, अबे they are natural born artists.
correct.
That you have to respect. So
Mm.
when you start seeing art and you start respecting art, that automatically becomes a kind of appreciation where you have some confidence and you are able to see the difference between a good art and something that's not great.
Actually, because I've also been thinking a little bit about, like, with all of this stuff happening with AI and all of that, what it lacks and what we have is the capacity for discernment. And I think that capacity for discernment is what makes you a great artist, makes you a great human being first. You know the difference between good and bad when you're creating. And there is a certain standard that you are creating for yourself. It's not, the world is not deciding that for you.
Correct.
Mm. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about the dares. Do you have particular dares for
I think
our,
we sent some few dares to you, which
yeah.
is like say for example, I am in this whole India space, right? So for me, let me tell you, this whole thing about um, in creativity, filmmaking, etc. अपने देश में क्या है? Anything cinema, mainstream cinema
Mm,
is what cinema is,
mm,
and I'm making things on India,
mm.
so they are boring subjects, right? But that's where I make it exciting. That's where I get my nasha to do. So that's something. If you can take challenge, like for example, um, 2047 is 100 years of India. Now you have been a part of what you are a product of thousands of years of this civilizational culture. How will you use creativity and art to present a preserved culture for 2047 and beyond?
Mm.
How do you showcase that? Because see, a lot of things are going to transform. The speed of transformation is now super fast, and You can't go back. And a lot of things have changed or disappeared. So for me, to know my culture, to know my country, to know my art, I need to preserve them. I need to present them as stories. So that's what we are. Now, how do you interpret and use modern ways, today's tools, uh, to showcase or to inspire?
So
Most important is,
what you've
yeah,
assimilated, the synthesis of that, and then putting it out again for others to assimilate in its
yeah,
pure beauty and its form.
yeah,
Very beautiful, yeah.
and then how will you inspire somebody, a today's kid or a tomorrow's kid, to say, hey, I need to know more about this
Mm.
my country,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because nobody
And
is
then create
interested.
more work and
Yeah,
more out of that,
yeah,
yeah.
because by and large they don't care. They just, everybody is, living the moment and enjoying
Mm.
what's coming to them. So unless you create, for me, how I see is like finding audiences for virtual Bharat is a challenge. But
Mm.
I'm saying, hey, I'm very confident that if somebody sees the film, he'll become my audience for sure.
And the work you're doing is so very important, and so much more of that needs to be done. I mean, look at little kids today. Even if they've never gone abroad, they're growing up with an accent. Okay,
Yeah.
because and they're getting it from Peppa Pig, and that's the culture they're growing up on. You know, or countries like Korea, they have so much influence on us. Whereas actually, we have so much more inside of us. If we've assimilated it through our parents, our grandparents, and we just need to pull it out and put it out there and have the confidence. And I think somewhere with your fearlessness also, maybe that confidence in hum jo hai, hamare andar jo hai, which is what you're all about. You're saying, I'm about this India thing, all of us should be about that. All of us, it's all our collective roots that we should be about.
So in my recent travels to America, I used to meet American people, and we'll have conversations about what are you doing, okay, blah blah blah, filmmaker, etc. So then I talk about culture, and then I'll ask, when you think of culture, which nation or which country comes to you the top of your mind? Guess what the answer was from an American's point of perspective? It was it was Japan. It was not India,
Mm.
or it
In
was not
Japan,
even
in
Egypt.
fact, I have told so many people the story you told me about how, like, say, the architecture or even karate and all of that is actually been assimilated from our country. The
Kalaripayattu to leading into Kung
karate.
Fu to, yeah, to Zen
Yeah,
Buddhism, blah
yeah,
blah blah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and including the architecture, because
yeah,
I remember this book that you gave me, which was on Japanese architecture, and I literally saw that not just the architecture, which is the courtyard and everything, but even the drip chain for the water to come down
yeah.
is identical. So it's been assimilated that well, and that's what we respect that culture, but we are never able to articulate our own so beautifully.
Yeah, I think so. I think here's an opportunity to say, how do I think culture should be made into a business.
Mm.
Then it'll happen.
Mm.
Because uh, moment you have, how do you define culture, what is culture, all of that is a discovery. It's not a generic term, but there are so many things to it, right? So whether it's like, even fashion today, take how much India has embraced Indian art into fashion. That's even exciting. There are so many, like, say, there's a shoe brand called Gully Labs or something like that. And I find them how, like your Onitsuka Tiger or any of your uh, Japanese shoes, they have made Indian art into contemporary creation for young people. And it's so cool and fashionable. So it's like how we embrace in every aspect, so through music, through sound, like we need to also, like, say, you have seen how it was a very designed plan by Korea. So whether they did K-pop, K-art, K-movie, K-drama, to K-makeup now.
Mm,
Today, India's largest brand of makeup is Korean. Okay. I
mm,
think we need to package for ourselves, not even selling outside, so that unless we consume, we cannot even sell or present.
mm. Correct, correct. Then only when we consume will we want to share and appreciate. Okay, I'm going to now pick up questions and ask you what people include them in the conversation. So, so Payal wants to know, Bala, you're interested in documenting India, but what about the diaspora? Would you be interested in telling our stories too?
Wow. We've just begun this exercise.
Mm,
So we have set up an entity called Global Indian Collective. We're starting from the US. We will tell stories of both the diaspora and India. So it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, at the heart of it, it's a culture story. Like I want to go to Suriname and pick up stories of Indians who have lived over there, or go to Jamaica or go to many other parts of whether it's Mauritius, right? There are so many parts of the world where there is deeper penetration or engagement of Indians who have traveled and who have become part of that community and culture. So we'll make stories for sure.
mm. Payal is also added, and I don't think you need to answer that, but you can just say yes or no. She says, I'm an artist and writer, and I've been fighting for my human rights as mine were taken away in 2016 and I was labeled mentally ill. Canberra has a Human Rights Act, but human rights can be limited by the application of the Mental Health Act. Would you be interested in my story? How do I get in touch with you?
Sure, I'm always interested in new stories. So just write to contact@virtualbharat.in and then I'll pick it up for you, Payal, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Abhishek Pathak is asking, I'm Abhishek from Varanasi. Me and my cinematographer Nisha are documentary filmmakers. We're already creating cultural films on small stories, and I want to know how I can show my work to Sir and get an opportunity to work with him on at least one documentary to learn from him.
Definitely, we collaborate, we partner, we take interns from every corner of India. So more than happy to have you, and just that you have to be hardworking, and it's not an easy path. If you have it in you, just come. Write to us at contact@virtualbharat.in and mention this conversation over the mind, and we will definitely respond. And we have a team dedicated to always looking for young talents to be partners in this idea.
Superb. Nisha is saying, Sir, your work has shaped my understanding of India as someone who travels to villages across the country, documenting raw stories independently. I feel deeply aligned with your vision. I've been filming the living culture of India from the interiors of Bihar, local musicians of Uttarakhand, Kulvi Topi artisans, Majuli's face masks makers, Bastar Dasera, Baul singers, Meghalaya's tribal communities, to ancient temples and many more unheard traditions. How can a filmmaker like me work with you or contribute to your projects?
Please understand, it's not my project.
Mm,
It's an idea. Virtual Bharat is an idea. We want to be a collective because obviously I have set up just like that a big number of thousand films. So I'm more than happy because I'm just looking at somebody who's passionate to do what you're doing. So you're more than welcome and come and join, be a part of this journey, and then we'll help you make your films better. We'll make help you make your films reach more audiences. That will be our endeavor, and we look forward for young and exciting creators.
mm. So, Chandramouli, again, I will say, Chandramouli, you could just get in touch with Bala, on Virtual Bharat. I'm sure Samrat will share his email ID in the chat. If there's any more questions which are around, so here what we're trying to do is to decode the science of creative success. If you have questions around that, you could please ask them and in the Q&A, please. And besides that, you also have access to
Sonia,
Samrat.
can I also pitch in and say something? Because I'm like
Sure.
a salesman. I don't
Okay.
lose any
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah, yeah.
I will ask everybody to first subscribe to Virtual Bharat.
Hmm.
So go to our, please check out our website, virtualbharat.in or .com,
Hmm.
and also subscribe on YouTube and Instagram on Virtual Bharat. And even through that, you can communicate with us. And and please, uh, what's the battle we are fighting is algorithms. So your engagement, it's not about just watching a film. If you like something, jolly well comment about it. And if you're so passionate, write about it. Then the algorithm picks up and pushes it. So active engagement of something you're keen about is a must. That's how
Hmm.
you can build these ideas even stronger and better.
Hmm. So I'm going to take a page from your book, and I'm going to be a saleswoman too. And I'm going to say that there are no shortcuts. And the reason why we have this kind of conversation is because we'll have many such conversations. And if you do join our cohort, you will work with scriptwriters, musicians, actors, designers, and you will create some amazing stuff. And it'll just be a few days in the month that you give to that process, and it'll set you up for life, because you will get tools which you wouldn't get otherwise. You will get access to people you wouldn't get otherwise. So stay in touch with Samrat, have a one-on-one chat with him, and ask him all the questions you want, and sign up for our course, and continue these kind of conversations, because you need many such conversations to prepare you for creative success.
Super.
Hmm. Now I'll hand it back to Samrat.
Hey, Sonia, it was really fun talking to you.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
really fun, and I can't wait for you to come here. When are you coming to Bangalore?
I shall. No, come soon.
Okay. And when do we get to see the film?
So we are in the final stages. It's called Coach. Um, Hopefully in the new year, we
Mm,
will start. We will have an audio launch. We are planning to have an audio launch in at the Sangam
mm,
in with Rahman, Ajay Chakravarti, and all
mm.
uh, live performance there. And yeah, the movie is exciting.
It'll be good. We're also waiting for the music as well. Navami is still singing Marian songs, so
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yes,
as
yes.
you know, when I went to the movie, I couldn't talk to you after that because I was crying so much. It made me cry
Oh,
so much. So I hope this is not going to make me cry. And
I
just
think
be a
so.
film.
I think
No,
so.
no,
I
no.
think
I
so.
don't want to cry. I just want something visual and
No, no,
spectacular
no. It'll be
and
visually
enjoyable.
spectacular.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
And good music. Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Really look forward to that. You're always
Super.
brilliant, always inspiring. And of course, when you're here, we will invite everyone over to the barn
Yeah, yeah.
so we can meet you and talk with you in person. And please, and we'll tell everyone to feel free to connect with you otherwise as
Sonia
well.
is a great creative host. So it's always exciting to hang out with Sonia.
Thank you. Thank you, Bala.
Thank you.
Samrat,
Thank
over to
you.
you.
Thank you, Samrat.
So I have given my number and mail ID on the chat. I would just add on that why would anybody here in this session would want to miss out on an opportunity to get mentored by Sir in the course that we have, where you will explore not only the execution part, but also the craft of creating the narrative via design strategies and frameworks. Sir will help you out. We are there to come to you with a inventory of tools, frameworks, playbooks, videos, literature, and much more. Don't miss out on this opportunity. It's starting from January 2026. Get in touch with me. I have given my number and mail ID as well. Learn everything you can. This is once in a lifetime opportunity to get in touch with the creative greats of India and the globe. See you soon, and thank you so much, sir, for being in this session and sharing the value of originality, fearlessness, and passion when it comes to storytelling. It's been a privilege to have you today.
Thank you.
Same here.
Lovely. Thank you
Thank
so
you. Do
much.
we have few more minutes? There are a few more
Yeah, yeah,
questions.
Oh,
yeah, sure,
You should not
sure.
leave them hanging. Okay.
No, no.
Somebody asked, sorry, I'm just butting in because these came up later. Let's ask, okay. Um, Akash wants to know, sometimes I feel people are full of in their own mind. And I like this because, the problem with creatives a lot of the times is they can't get out of their own head. Okay. And as an artist, you have to change, you have an opportunity to change their perspective, and which can actually help society. When creatives change their perspectives, how do you tackle this kind of problem?
I have to face it if I give you a solution. I haven't faced that kind of problem. First of all, uh, one thing is uh, interact with people whom they may not be even in creative business.
Mm,
Doesn't matter. Don't think your creative means you have to be hanging out with only creative people. I think there is creativity in everybody. Because I tell my ideas when I'm traveling. If there is a driver from in Chhattisgarh, I'll give him my idea. I think there is something in the subconscious. Everybody is creative.
mm,
उसका reaction बहुत interesting रहता है.
mm,
So talk to somebody who's not creative and treat him as your mentor. You'll find a solution.
mm. Interesting. There was one more. I'm just trying to find it. Somebody's put it in chat. He said in creative spaces, people often take multiple roles, like one person being a cinematographer, writer, director, or any other role throughout their journey. But there's always a debate between branding yourself with one skill rather than a jack of all trades. Some people even look down on jacks of all trades. How can a storyteller with less exposure, big goals from remote India, tackle this thought as they grow?
See, there are two kinds of people. Someone goes to a film school. Right after coming out of film school, he comes and meets me with a visiting card, says, I'm a writer director.
Mm,
मैंने कहा तूने क्या बनाया अभी तक?
mm,
So that's a very mindset of people like, okay, I have done it.
mm.
Only when you start making film, you know how where you stand. Okay. So I think it's very important in filmmaking that you should be a part of every discipline of the filmmaking, where I don't shy away to help an art department people to even if you have to clean a floor or move the properties in a frame. You'll have to go and you can't just say, I'm a director and I'll get somebody to run around to do it. No. If you can be every part of every discipline, whether it is editing, right? How do you prepare your notes for editor is very important. So I think learning or engaging in all these aspects is not something to say, hey, I am a jack of all trades. Nay, stick to what you have to do. But having an understanding of all discipline is critical because then even when you face a bottleneck or if you face some challenges, you will know how to overcome them.
Fabulous. So, what about challenges of funding? Sorry, this is my last question. I remember the story you told me about the business class travel, and maybe that's a good story to end with.
No, I think this is always
No, we
uh,
need a lot of humility, right? I mean, in all of those tasks that you're saying, I mean, at one level, say, if I'm a cinematographer, I need to understand art. I can't say I'm just going to go land up with a camera. I mean, I need to understand every aspect of art. I need to be able to even do thumbnails and storyboards of what I'm going to go shoot. So everybody needs to understand every aspect of art. And then, of course, there is a challenge of funding. If you've got a big dream, then you've got to figure out how how it'll all come together, and you need the resources to make it all come together.
You see that first of all, uh, you need to go and work with people. Everybody cannot just start and say, I'm going to make a film. Ajkal, the discipline of going and working with filmmakers is very less. People want to come out because see, tools are available today. Anybody you can shoot today with any camera, right? So they think they are filmmakers already. There is easy access to whether it's Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. You can edit it. Everything is YouTube itself will teach you how to make films. All that is great. Do all of that. I too keep looking at like if I need to make a new recipe, where do I go? First thing is YouTube. So you can learn anything from YouTube. Okay. But um, it's interesting when you work with somebody where you're not investing the money. There's already somebody investing in the money, and you're learning on somebody else's cost, but you still get the involvement and the engagement. That what do you say? That experience is so valuable. Lack of experience, lack of exposure is a big issue because people are making, not everybody can succeed just like that. If you don't put in time and effort, you're not going to become something overnight that you will be able to achieve. So funding wise also, it's experience that will help you to get the funding. And when you show your craft well, somebody will trust and give you the money. So you have to earn that.
Perfect. Okay. That's perfect. Yes, you have to earn that is most important. Whether it is, and your craft is what helps you earn that because that's what you have at the end of the day.
Yes,
Hmm. Okay, we'll wrap it up with that. I hope you've all had a good time, and I've had a lovely time chatting with you. And we can
as
go
usual.
on and on. Yes, and I look forward to having you over in Bangalore soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Tada. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.